And welcome to Sports Stand, everybody. Ted LaRue alongside Matt Dean here tonight. And Matt, we have state tournament fever. We're going to be recapping football for Centennial in the 6A state tournament. We're going to be Spring Lake Park as well in the 5A state tournament. And then when we're talking about state, it's punching tickets to state in the pool, Section 5 and Section 7, swimming and diving highlights. And we're gonna finish things off. We talk about the state theme. How about a cross-country team that won state, the Blaine Bengals this year? We're going to be talking to a couple of runners over there, and a team that went to state, the Blaine boys soccer team. So we got state everything here tonight, Matt.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's really fun. It's the first of our two fall recap shows, so we're catching you up on all the state tournament action, like you said. Athletes in the building as well, too. So get here first for the football highlights. Stay, especially if you bleed Bengal blue, because we've got three great Bengal athletes here to help us recap some state tournament seasons for the Bengals. But we're going to start with some Thursday night lights, because we're into the state tournament here in football in Minnesota, and two of our area schools competing in that state tournament last week. We'll start in the 6A ranks Thursday night with the Centennial Cougars, one of the one seeds in the big school division, taking on 6-seeded Moorhead. This is at a neutral venue from Spring Lake Park High School. Jet Feeney, the Moorhead quarterback, tucking it and taking it for 6 to put the Spuds up 7-0. Moorhead, remember, 5-0 with this quarterback under center. They were 1-4 when he missed 5 games with a shoulder injury. Senior Caden Coppersmith showing the 5 Ds of dodgeball. That's dodge, dip, duck, dive, and, well, dodge. 50-yard score for Coppersmith, tied at 7 apiece, end of the first quarter. Feeney, a little RPO action, links up with junior Zach Walker, a 36-yard reception here, getting the Spuds deep into Cougar territory and in the red zone. Feeney wheeling out, takes it himself, and from 4 ticks away is in for his second touchdown of the night. Spuds back out in front. Randy Shaver at KARE 11 used to do a show with my guy Craig Norkus called Prep Sports Extra. They had a segment called Weeble of the Week. Here's your nominee, Isaac Belinsky Strauss, with a 23-yard run. It would set up the Caleb Melzer score, 5th of the year for the senior, and we were tied up at 14 all at Spring Lake Park. Spuds with some time before the half. However, the state's leading receiver with his 24th touchdown catch of the year, that's David Mack. And yes, you heard that right, 24 touchdowns, 2014. Spuds led it at the break. Moorhead added a score to go up 28-14 early in the third. This Edwin Eka run brought some wind back in the Cougars' sails, a 27-yard touchdown. The sophomore's 4th. We got a 1-score game in the third quarter. But Moorhead's prolific offense would find a way. A late third quarter score put them up 14, and Centennial are handed their second loss all season. The 6-game winning streak snapped. So the Cougars go out in the state quarterfinals, but what a run it was. They went in as one of the 3 one-loss teams in the state. There was just one undefeated team in the regular year, so Centennial, really nice season for them. And the way that senior class this year reloaded kind of as juniors last year. Remember, we had that state championship team for the Cougars just 3 short years ago, and for Centennial to kind of reset, reload with this new crop of upperclassmen, pretty impressive, Ted, what they did this year.
Yeah, it is. You talked about reloading. I don't know if we knew exactly how good that this Centennial team was going to be coming into the season, but they just did what Cougar football does. You know, it's a tried and true formula, and that's running the football. You see over 280 rushing yards per game, and they've been doing that since Mike Diggins has been there. That's just, you see the red Calgary-looking Flames C logo on the side of the helmet. You know they're going to be able to run the football. How about four ball carriers over 500 yards each this season? 21 guys touched the football in the run game, which is crazy for the Cougars this season. And there's a lot of maybe guys that are departing the program. Edwin Eka for the sophomore going to come back. He's one that's going to be able to look to carry this run game coming back next season. One team that also loves to run the football. Let's go to 5A, Spring Lake Park. In Class 5A, these Panthers making their first state appearance since 2016 at a familiar venue, Monticello High School. Once again, Alexandria stands in their way. This was a defensive slugfest in the first half, and it was highlighted by a late defensive stand before the break. Marcus Snyder comes up with the pick. with their backs against the wall. Nothing at half. Cardinals begin the second half with a commanding drive, kicking down the door. It took them less than 4 minutes to get in there. Brody Berg fights his way in. 2-point conversion, no good. It's 6-0 after 3. Panthers get a spark midway through the fourth. Lamari Brown rattling off 12 of his team leading 117 on this run. And then Tyler Wilkinson on the toss finishes the drive. 2-yard score ties it up. But the extra point is just the beginning of our special team story. It's tipped and blocked. It remains tied at 6. Under 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Man, crunch time. Time to make a play. Quarterback Talon Witt flies 22 yards down the field, sets Alexandria up in the red zone. A great opportunity to take this one home. But their field goal is blocked. Special teams proves its first name and how important it was. Special. And the special game continues into overtime. Panthers, they get the ball first. Nolan Roach rolling out. Nobody open. Pumps, but there's one person open late, and it's Kalen Truckenbrod. An unbelievable effort. The one-handed sprawling grab puts SLP on top 13-6. All they need is a stop to win it. Witt on the ensuing possession finds his way into the end zone from 2 yards out. But the Cardinals are pushing their chips all the way into the middle of the table. They're going for 2 and the win. It's a race to the pylon. And Spring Lake Park serves up some denial. Pandemonium in Monticello, 13-12. The Panthers advance to US Bank Stadium and the state semifinals.
This game, I mean, 13-12 in overtime with crazy last touchdown. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
It's like a brotherhood. You know, we all love each other. We all go out to eat. You know, we all care for each other. And I think that's just the biggest thing. And I just think our team's just very dynamic. We're very, there's a bond, there's a love between our team, and I think that's just very important, and, you know, it matters a lot to us.
I've been playing with this team since third grade and up. We've all played as sophomores. A lot of us are seniors on this defense, and yeah, we just put together, and it's going to be fun. Coaching staff is great.
Start of this season was, you know, just bring the intensity every game, be the most physical team out there, win the battle offensive line-wise, and then just keep stacking wins. And then our goal was the bank, and we achieved that goal. And now we got 2 games left. We got to finish strong.
Take a deep breath, man. That was a heck of a finish. That was a heck of a game. So they advance to take on the number 1 seed from the south end of this bracket. They reseed after the quarterfinals to the semifinals. They will take on St. Thomas Academy coming up on Friday, 2 p.m. at US Bank Stadium. They were the only lower seeded team to win, by the way, in the quarterfinals. And STA, and this is a 5A powerhouse, Matt, 11-0. They're led in the run game. A lot of these teams left on the bracket, they love to run the football. Dominic Baez for the Cadets. Over 1,400 yards and 21 touchdowns. They better buck up on the run defense if Spring Lake Park wants to play for a championship.
Yeah, it's the first trip to state for SLP since 2016. They beat Mankato West that year 14-0 in the semifinal, finished as runners-up in the Prep Bowl. And I think, you know, Spring Lake Park, we talked about, I saw the one-handed catch from Truckenbrod. They've got a passing element. Now you get to play indoors for hopefully 2 more games. And I think Spring Lake Park are well-equipped to open up the playbook.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this one finishes off. You talk about the passing effect and what they've been able to do. That's just another element that they've had so far.
Well, let's head over to the pool where we've got 2 section meets to catch you up on with our area teams trying to make their way to the state tournament. We'll start in 5AA, where last week the Panther girls swim and dive team were in the section meet in Minnetonka. In the 1-meter dive, senior Ellis Rotzenberg with a strong showing finished 4th, just off the podium, but with a score of 355.4 in the finals, notched her place at the state tournament. We also saw a couple of other Panther underclassmen compete in the 1-meter dive. 8th grader Olivia Peterson and sophomore Alea Fight also finishing inside the top 10 in the Section 5 AA meet. So we go on to the 200-yard medley relay. Watch lane 2, junior Anya Becker answering the Panther quartet of Severud, Roseboro, and Milsau to a finish 0.2 of a second inside the state qualifying time. Anna Milsau, a freshman, competed in 2 other individual races and 2 relays. Senior Cora Roseboro would finish 3rd in the 200-yard IM. Anya Becker competing in the 50-yard freestyle here for the Panthers. 8th grader Macy Severud in the same event, the 50 free, would finish with a 5th place medal here at the section meet. On to the 100-yard butterfly, Milsau and junior Mia Quigley-Ordiera both made the finals and were repping the Panther red and blue. In the 100 free, Ania Becker finished 10th. Sophomore Quincy Gilbert 13th in the final. In the 500 free, Maple Grove grabbed 9th and 10th. Mitsu Radzikowski, a Spring Lake Park freshman, came in as the 12th place finisher. 200 free relay, Roseboro anchoring SLP here to a 3rd place finish. She would share the podium with Severud, Becker, and Milsau joining her team on the podium in a good showing, but less than 2 seconds off of the state tournament place. 100-yard backstroke, 8th grader Macy Severud finishing 4th in a dominant field where 6 qualifiers in that event at this meet made it to state with the cut time. In the 100 breaststroke, Cora Roseboro, the senior, finished 4th for the Panthers, another strong showing. And then in the 400 free relay, Gilbert, Natalie Ketz, Radzikowski, and Quigley-Ordiera swimming to a 6th place finish for Spring Lake Park. The Panthers as a team finishing 4th at the Section 5 AA meet as a unit.
It took a lot of work and discipline to really work as a team to get our relay down and just going fast. I think personally for me, it was really fun and exhilarating witnessing the crowd just like cheer for you at the beginning and touching the wall and looking up and seeing that we made state. That was really fun. Overall, these girls are amazing and I'm so honored to be able to go to state with them.
For me, my favorite part of the race was seeing Anya, our anchor, touch the wall, looking up at the board and seeing that we got the state cut, and that was just really like something that I am so glad that I was able to experience.
To Coon Rapids for Section 7 AA, where some Bengals and Cougars looking to qualify for the state meet. We begin on the diving board. Centennial sophomore Cordella Schultz finishing 5th with a 3:07.15 score. A couple of her dives here. Blaine senior Katie Thel finishes just 1 spot below in 6th with a score of 297.90. In the pool, 200 medley relay. Centennial kicks off the meet in style by touching the ball first here on this race, qualifying for state with a time of 1:51.24. The team from Blaine comes in 5th place. The Cougars beat the qualifying time by more than a full second. 200-yard freestyle up next. It's a sprint to the finish, and freshman Sydney Edwards with the reach. 156.13. She's a section champion. Her older sister Alexis here finishes in 4th. 200-yard individual medley. Just keep swimming, just keep winning. Sophie Wynn takes home the 7 AA championship, a time of 2:13.27, winning by a 5-second margin. 50-yard free comes down to the fingertip, and it's all Bengals at the finish line. Junior Reese Forrest edges out sophomore Reese Penoyer by a 10.5, 24.97 for Forrest, and it's 25.14 for Penoyer. A 100-yard fly, Penoyer coming up short again by another 10.5, so close. Centennial's Lydia Hajdakovic comes in 3rd with a time of 1:02.67. 100-yard free. Forrest makes her name known yet again, finishing 2nd with a time of 55.08. To the big one, 500-yard free. Allison Jensen of Blaine finishes 7th with a time of 5:46.64. How about some teamwork? 200-yard free relay back to the top of the podium. The Blaine relay wins the section title, 1:40.97. Centennial touches the wall in 3rd with a time of 1:43.99. To the 100-yard backstroke after the celebratory hug. A host of Bengals and Cougars were here, but led by Sophie Wynn, her 2nd section championship, punching her ticket to state. Hajdakovic comes in 2nd. How about Alexis Edwards from Blaine in 4th? Clara Seibel of Centennial in 5th. 6 of the top 7 in this race were either Bengals or Cougars, certainly represented in this one. To the 100-yard breaststroke, Blaine's Sydney Edwards comes home in 2nd, 1:08.23. She qualifies for state. Centennial's Amelia Pohl comes home in 3rd, 1:11.55. Marissa Vang comes in 5th from Blaine here. 400 free relay is next. This is going to bring us all the way home. Bengals end on top with a time of 3:41.55 to take home the section championship in that event. And how about all together as a team? Blaine wins the team section 7AA championship. They get a picture with the plaque and they get to jump in the pool.
I'm proud of myself for the 100 fry because I broke a minute, and I'm excited to go to state with all my friends one more time.
I'm really proud of my 200 freestyle because I've never swam it at sections before. I've always done the 500, and so it was my first time doing it at sections, and I got the state cut and first.
I would say my best race of tonight was the 100 backstroke. I really just tried to stay strong on it, especially having a 200 free relay right before. And I'm pretty happy with the time, although I'm a little off my best, but I'm still happy with it. And I'm looking forward to just having a fun relay with my friends, at state, yeah.
My best event today was probably my 100 backstroke. I was just trying to stay in my own headspace and do what was best for me. And I'm looking forward to having fun with my relay mates at state.
So though you see tickets punched to state, how about a team that was at state this weekend on the volleyball court, Matt? We've been talking about Centennial all fall. Now, unfortunately, they did lose in the first round of the regular tournament in straight sets to a great Prior Lake program, but then rattling off a couple of consecutive wins, ending off with 2 W's, winning the consolation championship.
Yeah, great way to end your season after a disappointing one in the quarterfinals. Elena Hakey named Miss Volleyball in Minnesota. That's pretty impressive. The Cougars' second ever Miss Baden Volleyball Award winner, Lee Pudwell, won it many years back for Centennial. She's also an Under Armour All-American. She had 21 blocks in those 2 wins combined to help the Cougars lift that consolation crown. So pretty phenomenal season. They finished 24-9. We'll have a couple of the representatives of the Cougars to recap that state tournament on our show next week. But speaking of state tournaments, we're joined here by 2 members of the Blaine cross country team. No one better to talk to than the state tournament with state champions, the Blaine Bengals, for the first time in program history. David Meberg, a junior who finished 4th at the state event, and Alaric Burrows, a senior, 18th place finisher. Guys, first off, congratulations on a great state tournament meet last year. David, I want to start with you. You finished 4th, as we said, at state last week. You had one of your better races of the season at the end of the year. What was kind of, like, that's the whole plan all season. You're trying to peak at the right time. What was a key moment where you felt like you were hitting your stride midway through the season? Maybe a moment where you were like a little bit behind and it was a wake-up call, but what was a key moment you remember that kind of spurred you on to be able to peak at the right time?
Like, I would say for me at sections, like, our team had such a great race, and like all 4 of us were all at the front, and after that race I just knew that we were all going to do good.
And I'll kind of piggyback off that a little bit, David. You had your PR at state, kind of like what Matt was saying, peaking at the right time. What did you kind of feel going into that day? Did you wake up? Everybody says, did you have your Wheaties? Did you have, what was it about that specific day that you felt, hey, today's going to be this day that I'm going to be at my best?
I feel like I was unusually nervous, and like I was just really excited. I knew like something good was going to happen.
Alaric, you have a great race as well too, but you're one of the first guys that gets to finish up front, and then you got the rest of your team still behind you. You guys are trying to win a team title. What's that like when you guys get to finish, have 2 of your best races of the season, and then you get to get pumped and cheer on the rest of your teammates to finish over the line? What was that like?
Yeah, it was very intense. I was really nervous, but I was definitely very trusting in my teammates. I was confident that they would back me up. And I was right, felt good. It's a very good time.
Alaric, okay, you're a senior, so your time in this program has kind of come and gone. Of course, your favorite memory, what's your favorite memory written down here? But I imagine it's going to be, winning the state championship. But what were kind of some other things that kind of stuck out to you, and what does your future hold now as you move on from this Blaine program?
Yeah. I had a good time these 4 years running with such a great group of guys. It was kind of like a brotherhood. We were running every day, 6 days a week, on weekends, getting up super early and driving over to Elm Creek. And I think doing the Saturday long runs with the guys was part of probably my favorite part of the season.
That's always great to hear. You always hear about, when maybe people, they get away from sports, they hear, hey, I miss the locker room, I miss the practices and stuff. So that's certainly something that goes into that as well.
All right, yeah, last thing. David, tell me about how you got into cross country. I think it's a sport that the good programs, they just have a welcoming atmosphere where it's just like, hey, come hang out with your friends, and then guys grow to like it, they grow to love it, they get that competitive juice going. How did you get into the sport?
I first got into it through like the Andover Youth Cross Country. Like they host that at the Anoka High School, and my dad showed me it, and we just joined up.
All right, love it, guys. Again, two of the members of the Blaine State Cross Country Championship team, David Meberg, a junior, Alaric Burrows, a senior. We're going to send it to break. When we come back, Jonathan Yanni, senior from the Blaine soccer team that competed at the state tournament this fall, is with us here in studio. More from Sports Den next on North Metro.
Sit and chat and drink coffee, then maybe we could see if we could be. You and me. Let's get together and make believe we'll share our hearts and share our dreams. Now what do you think about you and me? Maybe we can always be forever you, forever with me. I bet you're thinking I'm a little too romantic. Oh, but baby, now don't get frantic, 'cause when I love, my loving's gigantic. Oh, and I think that's alright. Let me dream, oh, a girl can dream, and maybe it's not as crazy as it seems. Me loving you, you loving me right back. And now cut me some slack.
Back in studio here in Blaine, Minnesota on Sports Den. We're recapping some of the great seasons from some of the Blaine Bengals here in the fall. Happy to be joined by one of the senior captains from the Blaine boys soccer team, Jonathan Yanni. Jonathan, same thing we said to the Bengal cross country runners. Congrats on a great season. Bengals win 15 games this year. Conference champs, first trip to state in 13 years for the Blaine program. What did this mean to you to do it as a senior? You guys have had some really close calls in previous years since you've been a part of the program to get over that hump and go to state this year.
Yeah, it just means a lot. Senior year just winning sections, and not only winning sections, winning the conference. First time in 12 years, it's just a different feeling. I mean, I've been playing with a lot of these guys since Blaine soccer days, so it's just an amazing feeling. And honestly, I wouldn't wish anything different.
You talk about that conference championship and then eventually making that run to state. When did you know? I got something else about me here where you had that run where you rattled off 10 consecutive victories, but when did you know that you had a team, that this team could make that run to the state tournament?
Honestly, I knew before the season that our team was going to be great. I mean, these guys, we've been practicing even before the season. We would set up practices, and we have so much amazing players from offense to defense, and even in the midfield. We just knew that, if we put in that hard work every practice, just even when hanging out or like just doing something fun, just having that teamwork and just staying together just helped us, be great.
When we covered you guys in the section final, I loved hearing from you guys talking about how you just kind of grew up playing with all these guys since you were kids, pretty much. What were some of your early memories from soccer? Like, what are the earliest memories that you have of playing with guys that we saw you were with this year in Blaine?
Yeah, that's a great question. I remember playing with Landon Peterson and Demir Sesic at Blaine Soccer Days, way before, before they were even Twin Cities Rush now. I remember like winning tournaments like the NSC Fall Cup, and just having a great time there, and just, just learning a new group of people. That was my first season playing club soccer, and it was just obviously fun.
You guys had a lot of good players. I think it was going to be a good team regardless, but one of the other guys I wanted to Sam Spornak. Like, he came to Blaine, I think, last year when he was a junior? So he was kind of the new guy. He was a very special part of your guys' team as well. He let you and Demir score a lot of the goals this season, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously Sam's such an amazing player. I remember last year he came during tryouts and everyone was like, who is this guy, this new kid on the block. And I remember in tryouts, this guy would just give me so many assists, And I knew we would just be a great partnership, me, Sam, Demir. And like, even with the rest of the team, Sam's just a vital part. And obviously, him winning a lot of awards this year, but also next year, I think, the sky's the limit for him. I feel like he could do so many things, so many goals. And obviously, I'm just rooting the best for him.
I think last thing we'll have you here, you talked about Demir Sesic. What made, you guys led the offense, in goals and production and really propelled you guys towards the last half of the season. What makes the combination between you two so special, and what made it so special this year?
Obviously, it's just, playing together for such a long time. I mean, if you played with someone for like 10 plus years, you obviously know, how great it is. And, playing with Demir is just great because he already knows the type of player I am. He knows the great things I'm good at and like even the bad things. And like just working together, him checking and me maybe making a run was just something vital. And just, him giving me assists, I giving him assists, and just both of us scoring goals in general.
Well, it was really fun to be able to watch you guys, especially that section championship against Centennial. That was a really fun matchup. Jonathan, thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and coming back after this, we are going to wrap up this episode of Sports Den. Stick around. We'll be back right after this.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Really fun this time of year, Matt, to be able to kind of sit down. You see these athletes play on the field or on the court or wherever all year long, but now to be able to kind of hear the stories about their seasons is really fun this time of year. And next week, football, volleyball is going to be featured here on Sports Den.
This was Blaine heavy. It's going to get a little more Centennial heavy next week, right? Because we're going to have Elena Hakey in studio, some Centennial volleyball representatives, talk with that great football team the Cougars had this year, and add a little Spring Lake Park flavor too with Lamari Brown. Have we covered anyone longer than Lamari? I mean, he's been playing football since he was a freshman at Spring Lake Park, so it'll be fun to have him in studio.
Yeah, I know you and I started kind of around the same time here at North Metro TV, and you remember this guy running wild when he was a freshman. So it's been fun to watch him. So we'll hear from him coming up next week. All right, so until then, he's Matt Dean. I'm Ted LaRue. We will see you in our final fall edition of Sports Den next week. Until then, have a good one.